Like many people I know, I am terrified of spiders. If you're not scared of the horrible 8-legged creatures, then you're either a terrible liar or the bravest person I know. When I was a teenager, I lived in a rural part of England with my parents and twin sister Olivia in an old barn conversion. It was a lovely house, full of character, and was quintessentially British. As in freezing cold. The kitchen in particular was an icebox for 10 of the 12 months of the year, and there was only a modest improvement in the 2 summer months when the frigid air let up. The floor was constructed with ancient stone tiles, and the only source of heat was a stove using real firewood. I loved the cozy, romantic atmosphere it exuded. I spent many an evening wrapped in a thick jumper, drinking hot chocolate and poring over a book. I only occasionally envied the modern lifestyle of my school friends. Having a wood burner meant that we had a wood storage box in the garage attached to the kitchen. It was usually my parents' responsibility to fetch the wood and tend to the flames, but my sister and I were well trained in how to do it, as we were getting more independent and spending more time home alone. One balmy autumn evening, my parents were working late, leaving us to our own devices. I was in the kitchen with Olivia, eating minestrone soup and talking about a party we were both invited to the following weekend. Talking about what we were going to wear, how we should do our hair, and whether or not Peter from the year above was going to be there. Olivia thought I was too good for him, but I was smitten. Once we had finished our meal, we argued about what job we should both take. I set about clearing up and washing the dishes, whilst Olivia went into the garage to collect more firewood. That's when I heard an ear-splitting scream that made my blood freeze. I bolted towards the screams, a million possibilities running through my mind. Was she being attacked? Was there someone in the house? Had she seen a ghost? We collided in the doorway, sprawling all over the flagstone floor, Olivia squirming and shrieking and pale as snow. I threw my arms around her, begging for her to tell me what was wrong. What had happened? Are we still in danger? Her sobbing subsided and she visibly relaxed in my arms. I stroked her hair, still in the dark about what had caused her such distress, when she started laughing through the tears. Confused, I demanded to know what was going on. "I just stood on a spider," she cried, "right on my bare foot. I couldn't get it off. It was just stuck to my heel." She caught my eye and we both laughed at her ridiculous overreaction. Still, she refused to go back into the garage, so we swapped jobs and got on with the rest of the evening. By the time our parents got home, we'd forgotten all about it. Friday night rolled around and Olivia and I raced home from school and began the process of getting ready for the party. We loved it, sometimes even more than the party itself. The music was loud and we had fun sharing eyeshadow palettes and curling tongs. A few hours later, we were dressed to the nines and ready to go. After a fashion show for Mum and a grunt of, "It could be worse," from Dad, we were ready to go. We were very delayed setting off, but that meant we would be making a fashionably late entrance, and I would be able to catch the eye of Peter from the year above. The party was in full flow, and Olivia and I went our separate ways to mingle with different groups. The hours went by full of laughter, party games and dancing, and a few sips of vodka that someone had snuck from their parents' cupboard. It tasted like battery acid, but it took away the nervous edge I felt about being so close to Peter from the year above. He kept looking over, and I was too shy to hold eye contact with him. I excused myself to go to the bathroom. It was occupied, so I stood in the hallway scrolling through my phone. "Hey, it's Olivia, right?" It was Peter from the year above. He'd come over to talk to me. Well, to Olivia. Oh, he liked the other twin. No, I'm Chloe. Olivia is here though if you want to talk to her. Nah, it's you I wanted to talk to. I just thought Olivia could introduce us, but I guess I'd done that myself, so hey. My heart skipped a beat. Peter wanted to talk to me. Act cool. Don't say anything weird. The moment was shattered by screams coming from the living room. Peter grabbed my hand and we ran to find out what was going on. We were flattened against the wall as people were fleeing the house. What was happening? Peter tried to take me with them, but I pulled my hand free. The loudest scream had belonged to my twin. And now I couldn't hear her. She needed me. I pushed through the oncoming tide of bodies, trying to get to my sister. I got through the door as the last people left and was greeted with a sight that has terrorized me ever since. Olivia was laying passed out, convulsing on the floor, foam frothing at the mouth. She was pale and her lips were blue. And thousands of tiny spiders were escaping from a bloodied gash in her heel. They were scuttling and scurrying in their hordes over her exposed skin, bite marks beginning to appear as they feasted on her flesh. They covered the carpet, the walls and the ceiling. They were everywhere. Peter appeared at my side, his jaw dropping as he took in the scene. A pair of paramedics behind him took one look at the scene and forced us to leave. Well, you know the saying, right? When you see a paramedic panic, be scared. It's not looking good. It wasn't looking good. Things won't ever look good again. Not without Olivia. She was fearless. She wasn't scared of spiders. But I am now. And so should you.